But here's what's really cool. If you can look past the good and the bad and the ugly of this emerging neighborhood, something really fantastic is going on right in front of us, and it's why I'm here speaking to you today. And that is that there has never been a better time for you as a career seeker to empower or enrich yourself on the job. Let me put it this way. Anyone who tells you that you can't have passion, principle, profit, and fun in your career, they're old school, man. They're way back there in the 20th century. Because what I'm about is new school, or what I call the new world. But basically, despite of all that romping around, I still wasn't satisfied. I still wasn't happy. Until one trip in particular shook me up and forever changed my life. We were teaching English in Santiago, Chile, and getting ready to wrap it up, and I was starting to get antsy again. I was going through this repeated theme, you know, take 7, take 8. It's like, okay, what am I going to do when I grow up? And because I knew it was time to come back to the US pretty soon. And it was kind of driving me crazy, because I was sitting there plotting out what my likes and dislikes are and what I wanted in my next job and all that, but I still couldn't identify anything. Well, it turns out we had this 12-story apartment, a penthouse apartment, really. It's quite nice. In Santiago, and a buck goes a long way there. And I used to sit on my couch and doodle, you know, these thoughts, these loose thoughts that were kind of like spokes. They didn't have any hub to go into, but they were kind of all these thoughts about what I'm going to do next. And I had this incredible view out my window. It was the 20,000-foot high wall of the Andes Mountains. 20,000 feet high. It's like a permanent crick in the neck. It's incredible. But one morning I'm sitting there, I'm scratching my thoughts down, trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up. And all of a sudden I noticed that my cup of coffee is spilling. And I thought, well, that's weird, man. That normally doesn't happen until about mid-afternoon when I'm on like the 10th one. And I realized the reason that my hand was shaking is because my whole body was shaking. And I realized, wait a minute, the whole couch is shaking. Well, that's weird. The walls, the whole apartment is shaking. The whole building is shaking. I mean, pandemonium, and all hell was breaking loose. Things were falling off the walls, and outside dogs were barking, and sirens are going off, and people were screaming. Folks, I gotta tell you, if you've ever been in a 7.0 earthquake, one of the thoughts that gets indelibly imprinted into your forehead like a laser beam is this realization that the things that we think of as solid matter ain't so much. They're more like silly putty. The only way to really describe the Grand Bazaar is that it's like 1 part Hollywood, 2 parts Halloween. That's because all the strange characters and costumes are running around. But nothing was as interesting to me as the vendors, the merchants in their booths. Because not only did all these guys and gals, these young Turks I call them, not only did they all speak 8 or 10 languages, they had the nuances down pat. So if you're talking with Japanese visitors, it was all about ceremonial bowing and exchanging of business cards, two-handed, of course. If they're talking with Arabs, it's all about birds of paradise and 1,000 pardons. If they're talking to the Spanish or Italians, and they're just wailing with their hands in the air. If they're talking to the Germans, it's just the facts, y'all. No embellishment. They had me pegged 50 feet away. Hey, buddy! What's up, dude? It must have been an aura that says Yank American on it. And I don't know. I asked one of these guys, I pulled these guys, I said, where did you learn your English? The guy just grinned and did this number. And he pulls back this curtain that separated the front of his kiosk from a little workshop back behind. And up in the corner was a 13-inch black and white TV that just showed reruns of Friends and Seinfeld all the way long. Hey, who am I to question another man's teachings? So what, Steve? Why am I telling you this? Do you care that some guy halfway around the world can say, "What's up, dude?" in 10 different languages? Yeah, okay, you're the smartness. The reason why is as this world shrinks, all of these guys, I kind of call them the markets, the merchants, and the maniacs. They're getting bigger and smarter and weirder. And what happens is that as we and they intermingle, sometimes as competitors, sometimes as allies, that's what's leading to this explosion of new industries and new jobs.